Welcome back to part 2 of the Where in the Heck Has Rachel Been video. Because I know you all have been waiting with bated breath wondering what in the heck I've been up to. I'm just that interesting. This is sarcasm. Like the biggest project that I have been working on and the one that's taken up the most time is trying to work on our sunroom. I'll scoochy so I can insert a picture here of what it looked like before. So when we built this house, we downsized about 1,200 square feet, which may not seem like a lot, but when you're a family of 5, you feel like you're right on top of each other, especially since we opted for like a more open floor plan with this house. I like as a last minute kind of thing, I added a sunroom onto that what would have been the outside of the house, or like a wraparound porch, and I added part of it, like enclosed it to make a sunroom. Everybody else in the house watches a lot of TV and I don't, so I wanted a place I could go and kind of like let them have their privacy and then kind of do my thing. And then also when the kids have friends over, company over, and they don't want to be like right on top of us in the house, it's kind of like a bonus room. They have a place to hang out, and I really don't like them in their bedrooms, especially if it's mixed company. So right now we couldn't really afford to do anything with the sunroom because it's just not a good time for us financially. So we wanted to do this as budget friendly as possible. We're talking like bare bones budget friendly. So I want to show you a couple of things I did and how I feel really proud of how much I've transformed this room with what little bit I had. So we're going to go some of the ideas that I did. And I mean, some of them you might be like, oh, it's kind of cheap, but you know what? Poor people have poor ways. Let's get into the video. I knew I wanted to do a super cozy vibe, so I started on Pinterest pinning ideas that I felt were very warm, cozy, and inviting. And I also knew that I kind of wanted to keep with the farmhouse theme that I have the rest of the house in by incorporating a brick floor. So I, of course, was on Pinterest pinning away all of the ideas that I really liked and I thought were pretty. And I really like some of these ones that mimicked our room with a lot of windows and lighting and the brick floor. And I just thought it was gorgeous. So I set about looking for like a brick veneer because it's cheaper. And I priced them at Lowe's and it was $73.16 for like 7.3 square feet. Plus you would have needed things to go along with it like mortar and installation kit and things like that. So just for the brick itself, it was going to be like $3,600, not including labor, because that wasn't a project that I thought I would be able to handle on my own. My husband and his friend tried to talk me into doing like a laminate flooring, but I really had my heart set on the brick, and I was like secretly so super disappointed when I couldn't do the brick. So then I had the idea of like, why not head back to Pinterest and see if anyone is trying to stencil a brick floor onto concrete. And I was in luck. I went through, looked up several ideas, read all the articles, and found one that seemed simple enough to do a 360 square foot area, because that's kind of a lot. And so this is what it looked like before I started. And the first thing I did was tape off, I should say, and paint the storm doors inside and out with a black paint. And it literally took me an entire day. It took so many layers, but I really like how it turned out. I think it looks so nice. So then I prepped the floor, basically just cleaned it, swept it, scraped off any paint or like drywall mud that was on there, and got it ready for painting. And this was the first couple stencils that I laid. I was like not really sure about it. The colors were way too vibrant and I thought it looked kind of fake. I sent a picture to my friend and she was like, I don't know. And I was thinking, this is a lot of work alternating all these colors and doing all this work if it's gonna look like that. But I went ahead and like whitewashed it to kind of soften it, and I really liked it a lot better after I whitewashed everything. So this whole project ended up taking me 9 days to completely stencil the whole 12 by 30 area. And there's a lot of screw ups in the floor. I don't think you notice unless you really, really look at it, but I did mess up quite a few places. But once I got the hang of like how the stencil was, it ended up flowing a lot better. The thing that made it take so long was A, changing all the paint colors, and B, waiting for the stencil and the floor to dry enough to lay the next piece. I think I would have been good to have gotten myself like ordered two stencils instead of just using the one, because I feel like I had to wait forever for the stencil to dry so I wouldn't smear the brick look on everything else. There's still some things I need to take out to the garage, like the old fridge and the treadmill, and then that's where we had to cut the ceiling from where if you watch my previous video, the air conditioner leaked on the drywall, right under the last piece that I needed to stencil, so it was kind of annoying, but we got through it, cleaned up that mess. The little cart I ended up using to roll back and forth on the floor really saved my knees, and let me show you what I did here. So this little stencil is for like the corners or edges or pieces that only need like a half brick, and let me show you how I did that. I took like a paint scraper with a straight edge and pressed it against there, and then I painted up to that so I'd have a nice straight line where I needed to end the brick, especially like on these corner pieces up against the wall. So this is the stencil I used to do it all, and you can see like it made a huge mess on this table in between waiting for it to dry, and I just kind of alternated it. I'm not very bright, but once I finally figured out how to use the stencil best to make the patterns line up, it went a lot smoother and looked a lot better, and I was not trying to like fix mistakes that I made as much after that. And so the paint, I just alternated sporadically on the different colors of light to dark, as you can see, and then there was no rhyme or reason. I just kind of changed the colors here or there, and then after that dried, I would go back over and like whitewash everything. The last thing I did was paint the inside and outside of that last door, and this is kind of what everything is looking like after I got it all done. I was like so ready to sit after I did all this, and my knees were killing me. But I also redid this fireplace because I used to have like more primitive decor in my house, and I wanted to like update that look a little bit, so I'll show you what I did with this. I don't really have a good picture of what it looked like before, but that's what it was before I painted it. And I took it outside and kind of sanded where like the stars design was, and spray painted everything white, and then I ordered those little appliques that are on the corners and in the middle from Amazon. I looked for the most inexpensive set I could find. This was a set of 5, and they were pretty thin, but they did the job. I just spray painted them and then glued them on with some wood glue and clamped them so they would lay flat because they kind of wanted to pop up due to them being so thin. Overall, really happy with how it turned out. Very cheap update. All I had in it was the cost of the appliques and the spray paint, and I think it was a really nice update. I do have a gas hookup behind there. I do eventually want to have that be a gas fireplace when we have the money, but right now I just stuck a little electric heater that I already had in there and called it a day. So and he's so cute. Onto this little piece of furniture right there that is kind of like broken. You can see that piece that has fallen off on the floor. It was an old changing table for Mr. Killian, and I just decided to keep it, hold on to it, and try to use it for an end table right there where that trunk is. I have another idea for that trunk eventually, but I'm gonna update that piece of furniture, that changing table, and try to use it right there as a little side table. Overall though, really pleased with how it's coming along. I just feel like it really changed the whole look of the room, and I wanted some curtains, and y'all know window treatments are super expensive, so I already had the little hooks, and I ordered the curtain lines from Walmart, or the curtain rods, just the cheapest ones that I could get for that length of window. And then the curtains are actual bed sheets. I need to cut the tags off from Mainstays. They were $5 a set, and I didn't really like the color of them because they were giving like, they were supposed to be ivory, but they were giving like more of an apricot vibe. So I did bleach those the same way that you would bleach like a painter's drop cloth, and I like the way they turned out. I think it took away a lot of that pinkish apricot look that it had to them originally, and so I only had like, you know, a fraction of what I would have had if I had actually gotten regular curtains for those. Hi, Harley. And there were a few pieces of art I wanted to decorate with. This is from a calendar pasted onto a piece of like thicker board, and I want to build like a rustic frame for it, so I will show you that when I get it updated. Just like a really rustic, simple frame. And I don't know where we're going. Killian's taking me somewhere. You want the TV on? Alright, onto the table I demolished while I was painting with that stencil. I had a few of these boards that I'd used for a different project a few years back. They're like beadboard. I had a few pieces hidden in the barn. I went ahead and pulled them out, sanded them off, cut them to size, and then kind of like brushed on some paint and wiped it down with a baby wipe to kind of give it a like a stained look, and then I painted the rest of it, gave it a fresh coat of white paint, and this is how it turned out. I think it looks pretty good, especially, you know, for trying to repurpose and not have to go out and buy new furniture. I wanted to add some decor, so I tried to repurpose things I already had. I had this little round dish or tray, and it was designed more primitive, so I just taped it and painted it cream and black, and then used it on this table as like a little riser. And about one of the only things I did purchase was this bookshelf, but it was just from Walmart, and it was fairly inexpensive because I needed a little extra storage and a place to put all my books because I do love reading. Moving on to that old changing table, I just went ahead and used some of the leftover paint I had from whitewashing the floor, and I took the drawers out, gave everything a fresh coat of white paint. Then I did the same thing with the wood top on the coffee table so they would match, and you'll see the finished project in the room reveal. Alright guys, the moment we've all been waiting for, the big reveal. So these are the doors before and after. And then Killian just destroying all my fall decor and everything so that when I try to show you this room all pretty and clean, I won't be able to do that because it'll be a train wreck. I swear, it's a good thing he's so daggone cute because I tell you what, this kid can make messes like no other. So here we are for the moment. Got the floor all done, the bookshelf decorated, have my plants put back in here from outside. Got a cute little kid wandering around. And this is where I was kind of filming earlier and the huge mess that Mr. Killian made for us. But I basically just put a cover on the couch, some string lights that I already had under the curtains, a chair I took from another room, and a little stool, and just repurposed it in here. The side table I've had from Target, the basket I've had, the lamp is new. The cover on the couch is new, but that's what the table looked like. I really didn't want a TV in here, but Killian likes watching TVs, so it makes it easier so he can hang out in here with me. And just a little bench I found in Grandma's garage, and I did make that frame for the picture that I had, the calendar picture. That's all it is, just stapled and glued a few pieces of wood together, that's all. And the rest of the floor is done. I still need to do some cleaning and take stuff to the garage, but I want a little table setup area. And then here's the reveal on the changing table. Just have it utilized for storage right now. But I think it's coming together really nice. There's still a lot that needs done. The trim work needs done. Shelving needs put in. And I do want to do like a faux shiplap ceiling in here. But that'll be eventually because I know nothing happens overnight and I'd like to get the holidays over before I do any more big projects. That was a picture of the stencil that I used. It was 40 bucks. Paint and brushes are about 80. The curtains were 45. Rods about 30. Bookcase was 35. Couch cover 35. Appliques 16. And the lamp was 30, which brings us to a grand total of $311, which I don't think that's bad considering. I mean, the room is by no means done. It still needs a lot of work, but it is livable. It's a livable space now where it was just like very cold and uninviting before. It's a really cozy place to hang out. I think it turned out really beautifully, and I can't wait to be out here this fall with the little fireplace going, reading a good book, drinking some hot cocoa or hot tea, having the kids have friends over and watch scary movies. And yeah, so that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Love you guys. Peace out, Girl Scouts.